Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Let's go start now. John Cena lost to Brock Lesnar at the 2025 WWE WrestlePalooza Premium Live event last weekend. That said, the last real champion is nearing the end of his retirement tour, which kicked off earlier this year. Chief Content Officer Triple H has seemingly been the driving force behind John Cena's retirement tour, as he is the man behind all the major creative decisions in WWE. Fans have shared mixed reactions to Cena's farewell tour so far, and many feel the Stamford-based promotion could have booked it better. In this listicle, we will look at 4 ways Vince McMahon would have booked John Cena's retirement tour better than the game. 4. No heel turn. The Cenation leader turned heel for the first time since 2003 at this year's WWE Elimination Chamber Premium Live event. He joined forces with The Rock after Cody Rhodes rejected his offer. A heel Cena beat the American Nightmare for the world title at WrestleMania 41. However, if Vince McMahon were still in power, he would have never turned John heel, as he had multiple opportunities to do so in the past but chose not to, wanting to book him as the ultimate babyface. McMahon would have capitalized on Cena's massive popularity among young fans by booking him as a top face in his final run. 3 clean finishes. As part of his retirement tour, Cena has had massive bouts against many top stars. However, most of the matches haven't had a clean finish. Under Vince McMahon's creative leadership, the 17-time world champion would have brought back the Super Cena persona and fought in bouts with a clean climax. 2 No R-Truth feud. John Cena faced R-Truth in a non-title singles match at WWE Saturday Night's main event in May 2025. The last real champion managed to beat the veteran. However, many fans felt it was a filler bout that was not really needed. McMahon would have never booked Truth versus Cena in the first place. He would have allowed a rising talent to go up against the 17-time world champion. 1 More exposure to younger WWE stars. Cena has faced many of his old rivals and veterans, such as Randy Orton, CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, and R-Truth, during his retirement tour. Surprisingly, he has competed against only a handful of young superstars despite having limited time left as an in-ring performer. If Vince McMahon were calling the shots, he would have elevated younger stars such as Dominic Mysterio, Gunther, and Braun Breaker by booking them to share the ring with John Cena. In the past, many upstarts have benefited from working with the legend, including Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, and Rusev. With only 3 months left on his retirement tour, it will be interesting to see what plans the Triple H-led creative team has in store for Cena. McMahon is a WWE news and features writer at Sportskeeda Wrestling. After completing his bachelor's degree in mass communication from Potter International, he began working as a YouTube script writer. McMahon then transitioned to Pinkvilla as a combat sports writer. He gained valuable experience there before finally coming under the banner of Sportskeeda. Within 1.5 years, McMahon has written over 1,000 articles, interviewed MFN promotion owners, and conducted a Twitter campaign that gained over 50,000 retweets and more. He puts fact-checking and mindful journalism above everything by applying a 3-check method, where he tries to verify reports from reliable sources and cross-check whether other major publications have covered them. Looking back at his association with pro wrestling, McMahon recalls being hooked on the sport after watching Shawn Michaels vs. The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25. Since then, the product has been an inseparable part of his life. Apart from the Heartbreak Kid being McMahon's favorite wrestler for his confidence and charisma, he is also a fan of Brock Lesnar due to the Beast's work speaks louder than words attitude. McMahon can be found performing mixed martial arts and reading true crime in his free time. John Cena's retirement tour has been one of the most emotional ongoing stories in WWE, marking the final chapter of a career that spans over 2 decades. Triple H, now the head of creative, has been at the helm of shaping Cena's last hurrah. While the game has made efforts to highlight Cena's legacy, many fans feel something is missing. Cena's farewell run has been dignified, but not necessarily the blockbuster spectacle people expected for one of the greatest WWE superstars of all time. This is where Vince McMahon comes into the picture. Say what you want about his controversies and outdated creative decisions, but Vince knew how to make careers larger than life. If Vince had been the one in charge of Cena's retirement tour, there's no doubt he would have gone for an over-the-top, unforgettable presentation. Love him or hate him, Vince specialized in spectacle, and Cena's final run would have been nothing short of extraordinary. Here are 4 ways Vince McMahon would have booked John Cena's WWE retirement tour better than Triple H. On a year-long, once-in-a-lifetime global tour, Triple H has treated Cena's retirement tour as a series of sporadic appearances, weaving him into weekly television and premium live events without much grand structure. While that works for fans who enjoy the surprise factor, Vince McMahon would have gone bigger, much bigger. Under Vince, Cena's retirement would likely have been announced as a year-long global tour, promoted with the same energy as The Undertaker's Final Farewell or Ric Flair's last WWE storyline in 2008. Vince understood the art of marketing nostalgia, and Cena, arguably the most mainstream WWE name since Hulk Hogan and The Rock, would have been promoted as a box office attraction in every city around the world. Imagine WWE running Cena farewell nights across major arenas: New York, London, Mexico City, Tokyo, Toronto, and of course, WrestleMania. Each stop would have been marketed as the last chance for fans in that city to see their hero live, creating a massive financial draw. Merchandise sales, pay-per-view buys, and mainstream media coverage would have skyrocketed. Vince would have made Cena's tour feel like a true global phenomenon rather than a bittersweet send-off. 2 high-stakes dream matches with proper build-up. One of the criticisms of Cena's current farewell run is that his matches feel more like exhibitions than climactic rivalries. Triple H has leaned on nostalgia, but Vince McMahon would have doubled down on spectacle by booking blockbuster dream matches with significant storylines behind them. For example, John Cena vs. Gunther. Vince would have built this as a legacy versus dominance clash, presenting Cena as the final boss standing in the way of Gunther's rise to becoming WWE's most dominant champion. John Cena vs. Cody Rhodes. This would have been marketed as a battle of generations, with Cena passing the torch to WWE's current top babyface. John Cena vs. Roman Reigns 2. Instead of their one-off clash at SummerSlam 2021, Vince would have brought Cena back for a trilogy-style rivalry, giving fans a climactic showdown that cemented Roman's dominance. John Cena vs. The Rock 3. Vince loves spectacle, and closing out Cena's career with one final blockbuster match against his greatest rival at WrestleMania would have been the perfect Hollywood ending. Vince wouldn't have allowed Cena's tour to feel like a thank you lap. He would have given Cena opponents who could benefit from defeating him, raising their stock in the process. Just like how Hogan passed the torch to The Rock, and The Rock passed it to Cena, Vince would have ensured the tradition carried on in a highly dramatic way. 3. Storyline drama and McMahon-level stunts. Triple H's booking is generally more grounded in reality, focusing on wrestling-based storytelling. While that appeals to hardcore fans, it lacks the larger-than-life drama Vince thrived on. Under Vince, Cena's retirement tour would have included shocking twists, emotional betrayals, and unforgettable stunts. For example, Vince would have scripted a storyline where a trusted ally of Cena, perhaps Randy Orton, or even a younger star like Austin Theory, turned on him during the farewell run. That betrayal would fuel a deeply personal rivalry, giving Cena's final matches added emotional weight. Vince also wouldn't shy away from pulling out all the stops. Pyro-filled tributes, surprise celebrity appearances, Hollywood-style video packages, and even McMahon's own on-screen involvement would have been part of the show. Cena's farewell would be less about quiet goodbyes and more about explosive drama, the kind of moments that trend worldwide and live forever in highlight reels. Even something as over-the-top as Cena being attacked during a Hall of Fame induction or a staged injury angle to build sympathy would have been a tool Vince used to make Cena's exit unforgettable. For a WrestleMania main event send-off, perhaps the biggest difference between Triple H's approach and Vince's hypothetical plan lies in how Cena's career would end. Right now, Cena's final match feels uncertain. Will it be a mid-card special attraction or something more meaningful? Triple H tends to prioritize long-term storytelling around newer stars, which sometimes pushes legends like Cena into secondary roles. Vince McMahon, however, would never let John Cena retire outside of the WrestleMania main event. For Vince, Cena wasn't just another superstar, he was the guy who carried WWE through one of its most challenging eras. Vince would have seen Cena's final match as a once-in-a-lifetime attraction worthy of headlining the biggest show of the year. Picture it, John Cena's farewell match in the closing slot of WrestleMania, surrounded by fireworks, a sold-out stadium, and worldwide attention. Whether against Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, or even a returning The Rock, Vince would ensure Cena's goodbye was as big as Hogan's WrestleMania 6 moment or Shawn Michaels' retirement match against The Undertaker. By contrast, Triple H seems more likely to let Cena quietly bow out in a semi-main event spot. While that's respectful, it doesn't feel fitting for a career of Cena's magnitude. Vince would have gone all in, ending Cena's story on the grandest stage possible. Conclusion: Triple H deserves credit for handling Cena's retirement with dignity and respect, ensuring it doesn't overshadow the current roster. However, when it comes to spectacle, drama, and mainstream appeal, Vince McMahon would have booked the retirement tour on a much larger scale. From a global farewell tour to blockbuster dream matches, shocking storyline twists, and a WrestleMania main event send-off, Vince's approach would have been all about making Cena's exit the most talked-about event in wrestling history. In the end, Triple H is focusing on wrestling tradition, while Vince would have focused on legacy and entertainment. Both have their merits, but if fans were hoping for the biggest, loudest, and most unforgettable goodbye possible, Vince McMahon would have ensured John Cena's retirement tour went out with a bang that shook the entire wrestling world.